imprinted on my daughter?
It wasn't my choice.
She's a baby! She's mine!
Is Jacob Black a closet groomer or just an average guy trapped by the brutal, unexplainable laws of wolf biology? How did it happen that a grown man, a werewolf, imprinted on a newborn baby who had only just entered the world? And why does the Twilight universe try to pass this off as the highest form of pure, absolute love? Does this mystical mechanism always imply romantic or sexual attraction? How will the relationship between Jacob and Renesmee actually function as she grows up? And we will take a deep dive into other cases of imprinting with young children within the pack, because this shocking event in La Push was far from the first. We are looking at the darkest, most controversial, and ethically murky side of wolf lore. To understand how bizarre the situation is, we have to look at the foundation of the mythology Stephanie Meyer appealed. What is imprinting?
Imprinting on someone, like when you see her, everything changes. All of a sudden, it's not gravity holding you to the planet. It's her. Nothing else matters. You would do anything, be anything for her.
According to Twilight lore, it's an involuntary, uncontrollable, and irreversible mechanism through which Quileute shapeshifters find their soulmate. It's not just a strong crush, and it's not love at first sight in the human sense. It's a deep, primal, almost mystical phenomenon that completely rewires a wolf's physiology and mental state. When a wolf imprints, he becomes unconditionally slave-like attached to that person for the rest of his life. The wolves themselves describe this experience as a total overhaul of their entire universe. In the second their eyes meet, all the familiar laws of physics and physiology seem to cease to exist. The wolf feels a powerful, irresistible gravitational pull toward that person. A glowing, feeling warmth. In that instant, everyone else, all detachments, friends, calls, and even loyalty to his own pack fades into the background. The only thing that matters in the world is the imprintee. Her happiness becomes the only meaning of his life. This process can trigger at any moment after the first transformation. It happens instantly upon the first visual contact, and no past personal feelings, grievances have any weight here. You cannot force imprinting. We remember how Jacob Black desperately tried to imprint on Bella Swan. He searched for her eyes, hoping the magic would free him from his heartache.
Have you imprinted on someone?
You'd know if I had. I just have a direct line to Sam's thoughts.
But the Quileute lore is unyielding. The mechanism doesn't obey human desires. The same is confirmed by Leah Clearwater, the only female werewolf in the tribe's history. Leah admitted she desperately wanted to imprint or to be imprinted on, just to silence the pain she was in. If you wonder what was her pain, did you know that as a freshman in high school, Leah started dating and then fell in love with Sam? Yes, that's Sam, 3 years. But during her junior year of high school, Sam disappeared and Leah's life was thrown into upheaval. Then Sam reappeared, but Sam imprinted on another girl, Emily, who came to La Push for a visit. Yes, can you imagine this? Sam and Leah, they were together, probably loved each other, but then Sam imprinted on another girl. Leah and Sam, they still were in one pack and they saw each other every day. But how this mechanism works for a female werewolf, or if it's even possible, remains a mystery to the elders. And what happens if the imprintee rejects the wolf? There is no clear answer in the Chronicles of La Push, because an actual rejection has basically never happened in the tribe's history. True rejection is effectively impossible due to the nature of the bond. The werewolf subconsciously becomes the perfect match. He adjusts his behavior and character so perfectly to her need that he becomes everything she could ever want. A normal human cannot resist that level of absolute devotion and compatibility. But if, hypothetically, she said no, the wolf would experience such indescribable mental pain that it would likely lead to insanity or suicide. Why did nature or Quileute magic need such a harsh free will stripping mechanism? There are two main theories. The first, from Sam Yulee, is that imprinting is called genetic evolution. The wolf imprints on the woman with the best chances of producing strong, viable offspring to continue the werewolf's lineage. However, if we apply this to Jacob and Renesmee, we hit a logic wall.
We would do anything, be anything she needs. Friend, brother,
Renesmee is a unique hybrid, and her ability to reproduce is a massive question mark. And this makes Billy Black's theory much stronger. He said the goal of imprinting is to make the wolf stronger and give him an unbreakable foundation. In the context of Renesmee, this makes sense. A hybrid with supernatural mental abilities can give Jacob, as a leader, immense spiritual support. Furthermore, if they could eventually have children, the hypothetical offspring could inherit unique vampire traits, permanently eliminating the wolf's great physical weakness. Now let's move to the most shocking aspect. Imprinting ignores age. In the history of the male, this only happened to males. I'm not surprised. And while Sam, Paul, and Jared imprinted on young adults or teenagers, Quileute and Jacob Black imprinted on children.
She's a baby!
To ensure the wolf doesn't look like a dangerous pervert, Stephanie Meyer established 4 sequential stages of imprinting if the imprintee is too young. First stage: if she's an infant or child, the wolf acts strictly as a big brother or protector. There is zero romantic or sexual subtext here. It's pure platonic care. In the second stage, she becomes a child and the wolf becomes her closest best friend. In the third stage, they are intimate friends. This is a complex transition where their feelings begin to shift toward romance. She may still have doubts, irrevocably in love. Finally, in the fourth stage, when she reaches a mature age, the wolf's feeling bloom into full-blown romantic love. The first time it happens with Quileute, who imprinted on Claire Young when she was just 2 years old. Bella and Emily initially found this scandalous. The community struggled to hide their judgment as a 13-year-old wolf was constantly hovering over a toddler. But Jacob explained that there was no dirt in Quill's thought. To little Claire, he was a babysitter, a brother, and a protector. Plus, because of Wolf's aging holes, Quill could stay in a teenager's body and literally wait for Claire to grow up and catch up to him. Others had different experiences. Jared Cameron had the easiest path imprinting on his classmate Kim, who had been secretly in love with him for years. The story of Sam Yulee, however, was a tragic disaster. As I told you the story before, Sam was dating Leah Clearwater when he met her cousin Emily Young. The magic of imprinting was ruthless. Sam had to brutally break Leah's heart, which turned her into a broken person for years. Furthermore, due to emotional exhaustion and a sudden outburst of anger, Sam once lost control, transformed into a wolf too close to Emily and slashed her face with his claws, disfiguring scars.
Who's this?
Bella Swan.
So, you're the vampire girl.
There was also Paul Lahoud, who imprinted on Jacob's sister, Rachel Black. Rachel desperately wanted to leave La Push, but Paul's gaze forced her to stay to see where the relationship would go. It drove Jacob and Billy crazy that Paul was always in the house eating their food and watching their TV. But they couldn't do anything. The law of imprinting is sacred. But all the stories pale in comparison to the drama between Jacob Black and Renesmee Cullen. Let's recall the context. Jacob was painfully obsessed with Bella. When the pack learned Bella was pregnant with a vampire's child, they were horrified. They were certain a bloodthirsty monster was growing inside her, and Sam Yulee issued a hard order: eliminate Bella and the fetus. Jacob couldn't accept this. He was against his alpha, broke his pack connection, and started an independent pack to protect Bella. Then came the brutal, bloody birth. Bella was cold and still, and everyone thought she was dead. Jacob went into the room, driven by pure hatred, ready to destroy the newborn creature he thought killed Bella. He found the baby in Rosalie's arms, looked into her eyes, and his whole world shattered. Imprinting happened. In that same second, Sam's pack began the attack, but Jacob stepped in and broadcast his imprinting.
Stop! It's over! If you kill her, you kill me!
By the unbreakable law of the Quileutes, no wolf may harm the imprintee of another. Sam's pack had to hold the fight. A newborn baby saved the Cullens from the total extermination and established a truce between vampires and werewolves. Later, we learned that the magnetic pull Jacob and Bella felt during pregnancy wasn't about their human feelings. Jacob's wolf soul pulled toward the unborn Renesmee, who felt his presence and warmth long before she was born. Now, moving past the mystical veil, we arrive at the painful ethical question that has plagued the Twilight fandom for 2 decades. The question is Is this normal? On one hand, the author presents this as a divine, predestinate love. In the Breaking Dawn film, Alice has a vision of an adult Renesmee and Jacob happily together as a couple. It's presented as a happy ending. But let's take off the fan nostalgia glasses and look at the cynical fact. The woman Jacob imprints on was born before his eyes. He held her as an infant. He was there for her first steps. Yes, due to her hybrid nature, Renesmee matures quickly and will stop aging physically in 7 years. But chronologically and mentally, she will still only be 7 years old. She will have existed for only 7 years, while Jacob will be over 20 with the life experience of an adult man. Because of this, many critics call this legalized grooming. Jacob literally raised his future spouse from infancy. He shaped her environment and attachment so completely that Renesmee never had a chance for free will. Because the imprinting also feels a psychological void without the wolf nearby. She was doomed to love him just because the magic said so. Is that not manipulative and deeply unsettling by modern ethical standards? Yeah, and we can talk about Jacob's and Renesmee's future a lot, and I want to tell you that in my second YouTube channel, I made AI video, what if Jacob and Renesmee were together, and what if there were other parts of Twilight movie. Actually, I have two versions, with happy end and not happy end. You can choose any video that you want, links will be in the description. So thank you for watching this video, and please write in the comments what do you think about it. Are Jacob and Renesmee sweet to you, or do you feel a sense of unease? So give me a thumbs up if you like this video and subscribe this channel for more videos. Thank you for watching again, bye.